meeting to order. Please all rise and join us in saying the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Matt, may we please have roll call?
Councilor Demas,
Here.
Pedri,
Here.
Zadi, here, Hickerson, Hanson,
Here.
Vitolo,
Here.
Robinson,
Also here.
Mayor Mickelson.
I'm here, and so is Councilor Hickerson.
Dun, dun, dun.
Start 30 seconds early.
Saw you parking.
Okay, so our consent agenda this evening, we have approval of minutes from the special city council meeting minutes of September 25th, 2023, and the city council meeting minutes of October 3rd, 2023. We have two appointments. We've got Mandy Camphouse Allred for her third term on the Rock Springs Historical Museum Board, and Mark Lyon for his third term on Sweetwater County Joint Travel and Tourism Board. For officer and staff reports, we have the Health Insurance Fund recap from September 2023, the Rock Springs Renewal Fund financial statements from July 2023. From our council committee and board reports, we've got the Sweetwater County Travel and Tourism Board approved amended budget. And under correspondence, we have a letter from the Wyoming State Historic Preservation Office regarding the downtown Rock Springs Historic District boundary increase, and a letter from the Rock Springs Bureau of Land Management regarding a cooperating agency meeting for a proposal submitted by Moxa Carbon Storage LLC for the Southwest Wyoming CO2 sequestration project. Council, do we have a motion?
Your Honor.
Councilor Batolo, do we have a second?
Second.
Second.
Councilor Demas? All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Okay, motion carries. Consent agenda is passed. Which brings us to our next item of business, which is nominations and appointments for the vacant Ward 2 seat. I would accept nominations from the council.
Your Honor,
Councilor Zadi?
I'd like to nominate David Thompson for the Ward 2 council seat.
Okay, are there any other nominations? Okay, hearing none, the way our process currently works, each council member will write their vote down on a piece of paper and pass it to me.
Interesting.
What?
Okay, so by a majority vote, David Thompson is going to be our new council member from Ward 2. If you'd please come forward and take your oath. Thank you, Your Honor, for being here.
My pleasure. Taking your picture from this side, so you might want to be on this. Okay. Go. Get the glasses on. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name,
I, David Thompson,
having been duly appointed as Rock Springs City Council member,
having been duly appointed as Rock Springs City Council member,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Wyoming,
and the Constitution of the State of Wyoming,
that I have not knowingly violated any law
that I have not knowingly violated any law
related to my appointment
related to my appointment
or caused it to be done by others,
or caused it to be done by others,
and that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
and that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
So sworn.
So sworn.
Congratulations.
Yeah. I think so. Making fun of my disability. Ugh. Okay. Very good. And that takes us to our bid openings. We have vehicle leasing and fleet management this evening. Okay, the first is from John Sparger, Enterprise Fleet Management from Centennial, Colorado. They're both on I guess it's in the second envelope. That's the bid bond. Just want everyone to know that when I open these things, the people who provide a summary page are my favorite people. Just the one vehicle. 7. At that price per vehicle. Yeah. Where's the...
It's an Easter egg hunt.
What was that speed reading class you're supposed to take?
This is for one vehicle?
No, it's for 7.
Okay.
I don't think there is a... It's just each vehicle costs this much. I don't see a summary of the total bid amount anywhere. So, guess math. So it says the price per vehicle is $41,051, and that there's 7. But there's no...
About 280.
I was hopeful here,
51?
And times 7.
but there's no... There's just an executive summary.
280.
287.
Yeah.
Either the paperwork is cleverer than I am, or it's not in there as a total. But
So would that be the,
yeah, see if you can find it.
is it 41051? Mm-hmm. Okay, I just want to make sure I got that.
Yeah,
So the total was 287, 357.
287, 357 is what Rob says. So if the math's bad, blame him.
Wasn't it
Your Honor.
$41,057?
40.
51 or 57?
I've got 287, 399.
So it was 57?
41.
I thought it was
51.
51.
$41,051.
Oh, 51.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, making me do
Rob
math.
was right.
What?
Okay.
It's not what I have. That's what Excel.
Well, now that we got through that mess, brings us to commendations portion of this evening. We've had several folks who are integral to the business of the city who have earned some recognition and honors. And so we invited them to come this evening and tell us a little bit about that. First up, we have Chad Banks from the Urban Renewal Agency, who has been recognized by the University of Wyoming School of Business for his work in our downtown. So, Mr. Banks, if you'd... I would love for you to talk.
I was not told that or warned. I don't know what to say, really. So the UW School of Business this semester, or actually this year, I think, recognized people who contribute to their community. And I don't know how they got my name or why they selected me for that role. But anyway, I was recognized along with, I think, about 8 or so other alumni from around the state. So it was sort of blew me away as an honor. I don't know that there's anything outstanding I do that everyone here in our community doesn't do, but it was an honor. So, and I appreciate your having me here as well.
We appreciate you coming and all the work that you do for us with our Urban Renewal Council. Do you have any comments or questions?
Thanks for keeping it short. And thank you for everything Chad, thank you for everything you do for the community.
Yeah, thank you.
And then next we have Devin Brubaker, who is the Southwest Wyoming Regional Airport Director, and he was recently elected as president of the Northwest Chapter of the American Association of Airport Executives.
I prepared a really long speech, so mine won't be short.
We were prepared.
Just kidding.
Funny.
Yeah, Mayor, councilors, appreciate it. I just recently in Kelowna, British Columbia, towards the end of September, I was elected president of the Northwest Chapter of the American Association of Airport Executives. The American Association of Airport Executives is a trade association representing the airport industry and the airport professionals that run our nation's airports. It's about 10,000 members strong. The Northwest Chapter is one of 6 regional chapters. The Northwest Chapter represents Alaska, Yukon, Northern Territories, Saskatchewan, Alberta, British Columbia. Let's see if I can get them all right here. Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, and Utah. So I was elected president by my peers of that chapter for the next year and look forward to serving our industry in that role. So thank you.
Thank you, Council.
Well, congratulations. And again, thank you for all you do for us at the airport and the community as well.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for coming. And then finally, we have Kayla McDonald from the Sweetwater Economic Development Coalition. She was recently appointed to the Wyoming Economic Development Association Board.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm very grateful for this, and this is my second term that I was voted in last week, and I will be taking the role of president chair this Thursday. I started in 2019 filling an unexpired term of an economic developer out of Cody, and since then have been very active in this organization. It is a 9-member board, over 200 plus members that we have in this economic development organization, so 501c6, and it is out there promoting economic development and leadership throughout the state. This is a membership organization that is a resource for all of our economic developers and those who do the work with economic developers, so that could be utilities, it could be elected officials, and just people who have an interest in economic development. And so I'm very grateful for the opportunity to be reelected and getting the opportunity to be president this year. So thank you.
Thank you, Council.
Again, congratulations.
It is.
I feel like George Jefferson. We're moving on up.
Yeah. Well, the work that all of you do is very appreciated in, a community is really dependent on the quality of its individual members to succeed. And none of us can do it by ourselves, right? The city can't do it alone. And so the work that you guys are doing for our community is very valued and appreciated. So thank you for taking your time to come visit with us and share in your honors with us. Okay, and that takes us to presentations and proclamations. We have one this evening. for the Extra Mile Day. Whereas Rock Springs, Wyoming is a community which acknowledges that a special vibrancy exists within the entire community when its individual citizens collectively go the extra mile in personal effort, volunteerism, and service. And Rock Springs, Wyoming is a community which encourages its citizens to maximize their personal contribution to the community by giving of themselves wholeheartedly and with total effort, commitment, and conviction to their individual ambitions, family, friends, and community. And Rock Springs, Wyoming is a community which chooses to shine a light on and celebrate individuals and organizations within its community who go the extra mile in order to make a difference and lift up fellow members of their community. And Rock Springs, Wyoming acknowledges the mission of Extra Mile America to create 550 Extra Mile cities in America and is proud to support Extra Mile Day on November 1st, 2023. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Max Mickelson, Mayor of the City of Rock Springs, do hereby declare November 1st, 2023 to be Extra Mile Day in the City of Rock Springs. And I urge each individual in the community to take time on this day to not only go the extra mile in their own life, but to also acknowledge all those who are inspirational in their efforts and commitment to make their organizations, families, community, country, or world a better place. I think that was certainly demonstrated by the folks that we just visited with. With that, we'll move forward to petitions and public comment. If anyone would like to step forward to address the council, please just state your name and any organization that you may represent.
Mayor and council members, I am Laura McKee, and I'm not representing anybody, I'm just a concerned citizen. I received notification that we're going to have, and I know that it's not privately owned, but gets a lot of money from like the city at Broadway theaters. They're gonna have a story time and for kids that's drag, and I'm very concerned about that. And I was gonna call and talk to a lot of different people. Unfortunately, the day that I found out about it, I ended up with 4 foster children, so it's been a little chaotic in my life. But I just wanna know, it's one thing if it's adults, but, I have a kid right now and my foster care thinks he's a dinosaur. Like, I have all different ways, and I just wanna know what we can do, because these are impressionable kids. And we have a lot of, supporters in that they just don't want that.
Council?
Your Honor, I'm curious what your concerns are specifically.
Because I'm a Christian, and I don't think that kids need to be exposed to this kind of stuff. Just let them grow up and be who they're going to be, and then they can form who they're going to be later in life. But I think that we are putting things in their minds that don't need to be there, and I think it's very detrimental to them.
So, being a Christian, do you think that your view should dictate what other parents or guardians do in their lives?
Parents should be concerned about putting this kind of stuff in their kids. I don't care what you are or where you come from. I think every parent, we've never had this in the history of our country. And we should just let kids grow up and be who they're going to be. And when they're adults, they can make their own decisions. But I just don't think that we should have that. And I will, talk with the people who also sponsor the Broadway to make sure they're all aware of what they're going into, and petitions, whatever I can do to make this be known, because I don't think a lot of people in town are aware of what I see.
All right, so as a non-Christian, let's say I decide to allow my juvenile child to attend this.
Right.
Is that okay?
I don't think so. I don't think we should have it.
Why not?
I just think it's a slow thing. We're just.
But why should your opinion on what my... Hold on. Let me finish my question. Why should your opinion as a Christian override my opinion as a non-Christian on what my child gets to do?
I'm just saying, can't we just let our kids be kids?
Sure, I'm letting my kid be my kid.
I'm going to cut in here. So I certainly appreciate your right. In fact, your right to come here and petition us is the same right that protects their right to do that. And either everyone's rights matter or no one's. And as government, right, like Amendment 1, right, the First Amendment, we are prohibited from in any way restricting their right to do that. In the same way that if a truly abhorrent organization like the Patriot Front wanted to rent the Broadway Theater to hold a community meeting, they have every right to do that, no matter how repugnant I might find their message. So if we're going to maintain our system of governance that we all believe in and we have all taken an oath to uphold, they have every right to offer that, and people have every right to not like it, to not go, to go and have a great time under the law. And so there's nothing that we are empowered to do to restrict that, and we are in fact compelled to protect their right to do that.
Right, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, who else would like to come visit with us?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Council. Oh, thank you. Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Council. I'm Dave Pendleton with Wyoming Abandoned Minelands Program. I'm doing double duty right now. Brian Freed, who was the project manager overseeing the grout works for AML, decided to move on to greener pastures. So it falls to me to come down here and kind of give you an update of where things stand with what we have going on in this area with our work, our mitigation of abandoned mine voids. The pipeline work that is being done north and grouting work under the pipelines north of here and south of here, those projects are progressing good speed. Will probably shut down. I think they'll probably be shut down by weather about Thanksgiving time. If the weather cooperates, they can go a little bit further work-wise. Like I said, last time, I-80 is the next phase project next year. We're going to be doing a project out there that's going to be about 36,000 cubic yards of grout under the interstate. What else? Oh, we have a subsidence feature that was found under a residence over on Pine Street. And the property owner has asked us to do some mitigation work on that property to prevent damage to his property. That will involve doing some drilling and injection of grout into the mine void, which is less than 100 feet below ground surface at that location. And this particular site is less than 200 feet from the issue that we're seeing at 506 8th Street. We're looking at a November 6th start date. We are offering subsidence insurance to property owners in the area, both each on so between A Street and Pine Street, or excuse me, A Street and Walnut Street, half a block each side of Pine Street are the folks we're offering subsidence insurance to. We're offering them a 2-year policy at AML's expense. And we'll get those in place before we do any work. If people want to refuse the subsidence insurance, that's their option.
Is it too late to take up that Federal Bureau of Mines plan to just move the whole town? Is that,
Well, as most people know, Rock Springs is about 67% undermined.
Yeah.
And the work, and so I've seen some work pre-AML, some issues in the early 60s with subsidences in various places in Rock Springs. I think the Bureau of Mines did some work in the early 70s. The ML program started in 1983, and we have been doing work pretty much continuously, well, off and on, depending on the availability of funds since that time period. Most recently in 2022, our program was reauthorized by Congress for another 13 years at a reduced rate of 22.4 cents per ton tax on coal. We also got some BIL funding, and Wyoming, it's based on historic coal production in Wyoming pre-77, and that is about 9.7 million a year for 15 years. So we're going to continue work, but we need to get things done in the next 10 years or so, because we're not sure what will happen after that time period. So we need to get things addressed, both in Rock Springs, critical infrastructure. Speaking of this area where this subsidence feature is located, we don't know a whole lot about it other than some old maps pre-1919 indicate that old workings. I think we were going to look at doing some drilling to determine what was going on in this area, but we kind of stopped that due to some objections from some locals in the area there. So with subsidence features, the rule of thumb is about 100 years before you start seeing some features come to the ground surface. And the shallower the workings and the shallower the bedrock over those workings, the more opportunity there is for that subsidence come to the ground surface. So at some point we might come to you and ask you if we can do some exploration in this area to determine what's going on.
well, it's definitely better to look into it than to wake up to a sinkhole.
Yeah, we'd rather be proactive and do something ahead of somebody's house having problems. So,
Very good. Council, do you have any questions?
I have a question. In the past, when some of the work has been done, in particular is when we did the compaction, we had a lot of residents complain about damage being done. Do you survey those houses in the immediate area before any work's done to address and see if if there's any pre-existing damage compared to after?
So that
done?
that time that you refer to was a dark history in AML. that is the unspeakable time that we would like not to discuss. But so if we do some work in an area, what we do is offer WMSIP, which is Wyoming Mine Subsidence Insurance Program, insurance to potentially affected people in the area. It's their right to refuse that, but what it entails is for us to do a pre-policy inspection report, which documents any damage within the structure existing, so that if something happens during the course of the work, or either we can keep the insurance going for a while. If something happens, then we can come back and document and say yes, there was no pre-existing damage. I get to, send a claims adjuster out there, approve the damage estimate, and get the folks paid.
And the reason I ask is for the public, it is to their benefit to do the insurance.
Oh, most definitely.
Because if they do not, and there's no pre-survey done, they have to prove that damage was done after the mitigation, and that's going to be times pretty difficult. to prove. So it's very important that if you feel you need it, get the insurance, get the survey done, and
And why wouldn't you when AML is paying all the cost?
Yeah.
The cost of the pre-policy inspection, the cost of the insurance, and generally we'll, if we're going to go work in an area, we'll cover for a couple of years anyway. And after work's done, it's up to the individuals if they want to keep the insurance or let it go. But this will give them an opportunity, and us to, be able to justify, if something happens, there's a claim.
Counselor?
This is for my education, if
Sure.
you will. You mentioned this location on A Street was less than 100 feet. Is there a depth that things have to be before you guys go in there, or what?
No, what we like to do is go in and drill an area, determine the condition, the depth and the condition of the mine, so what happens when you start seeing the issues is the roof starts falling down into the void, and it bulks and it starts coming up, and if it makes its way through the bedrock into the alluvium that's above the bedrock, then you can start seeing some signs features come to the ground surface. But if you've got, maybe a mine void that's 200-300 feet, and you've got 150 foot of bedrock, it may be that, depending on the mine and its configuration, you may never see subsidence feature come to the ground surface.
Okay.
But, geology is a funny thing. Bedrock is not all the same.
Yeah.
It has fractures and faults and everything in it that can act upon those features.
Okay. And then over the years, I've in my job, I've done some work up in the Jeffrey City area on those uranium mines that's been up there. And the question that I've always had when I used to drive up there and go to these sites was, these places are in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
How do you judge where the money's going to go versus other locations where it could be more, where people could be affected more, like this site here is in the town versus those sites up there in the middle of the desert. How do you guys decide where the money goes, is what I'm getting
Well,
at.
under SMACTR, there's, priority features. So, our priority is coal first in general. We have P1, P2, P3 features. Priority one is, say, a hole opens up right out front of somebody's house, right in the middle of the street. That's, emergency action. That's a P1. It's an imminent threat to human health and safety.
Okay.
AML was certified as we were done with coal back in '83, so us becoming a certified state allowed us to use funding on things other than coal.
Okay.
So when we do work on things other than coal, we have to follow the same thing: P1, P2, P3. We generally don't do any work on P3 features unless a particular site we're going to go work on a particular site and there's P1, P2 features on that site. While we're there doing the work, we'll take care of anything else there, which might be a P3.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. By and large, the majority, Sweetwater County has gotten a huge percentage of AML funding over the years compared to other counties.
Okay.
So, yeah, we've spent a lot of funds in the county. I think I kind of talked about this last time. We're here to help, and if people don't want us to do work, we go away. But if somebody's got an issue like this house and his neighbor across the street objects, we're not going to listen to that neighbor. We're going to help that individual. So,
Thank you. I just needed to educate myself a little bit.
sure.
Your Honor.
Anything you need.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm done.
So you talked about the compaction being the darkest time. If I promise to never bring it up again, could we start talking about the Bitter Creek again?
So, so Bitter Creek, there was determination made by AML staff and administrators that didn't fit AML's funding. It wasn't a P1 or P2 or even a P3. The best it could be would be a P6, which would be a public facilities project. And we did during the last public facilities, we had 20.6 million available after we identified all of our P2 projects left over from, we had prior funding come from the feds that they withheld from us. I think that we had gotten like $90 million, and we had identified $70 million worth of work. We had 20 million left. We said, okay, public facilities. So we had 84 applications for that $20 million, and we were able to fund 10 of them. And Rock Springs got 3.8 million for Bitter Creek.
Which was very appreciated. If you ever do get a spare 90 million again, I know right where we can use it.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think those days are long gone.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
tragically.
we're having to, you know, we had a backlog of work and grant funding, and we really spent a lot of money during the COVID. We were told by our administrators to ramp up to get people working, keep people working. And it was kind of difficult to shut things down, but we've got to that point. We burned through that funding, and we're having to right size our program to the grants that we're receiving, which will total right now about 30 million a year. And with coal production on the decline, that we see that declining over time. And with inflation climbing, less work. So we need to get things done. Well, one of the things we want to do is put together a procurement within our organization to have a consultant do a study here in Rock Springs on the entire town and help us to prioritize where we should concentrate our efforts and do our work. And so I think we would like to have your involvement in that process when we we do need it, when we get around to doing that. We don't anticipate that being, that procurement's probably going to occur in somewhere between January and April of this next year. Lifetime contracts in place, we probably won't be starting on that until next fall. So, but we'll definitely have you and your staff involved with it.
We appreciate it, and we definitely welcome the help. So thank you for the work.
We want you to be in a good position when, at some point in time, we go away. But we won't go away totally. We just won't have funding to do much at some point in time.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, would anyone else like to address the council? Okay, seeing no one, we will move forward to bills and claims for October 17th of 2023. Council, is there a motion?
Your Honor,
Councilor Demas?
I make a motion to approve the bills and claims for October 17th, 2023.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Batolo. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining?
Abstain.
Okay, motion carries with Councilor Thompson and Pedri abstaining. That takes us to the salaries for October 6, 2023. Council, do we have a motion?
Your Honor,
Councilor Demas?
I make a motion to approve the salaries for October 6th, 2023.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Hanson. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining?
Abstaining.
Abstain.
Okay, the motion carries with Councilors PG and Thompson abstaining. That takes us to new business. Our first item, feels lonely in here now. Our first item of new business is a recommendation from the Health Insurance Committee regarding health insurance premiums, HSA contributions, and stop loss for the 2024 plan year. Do we have a motion?
Your Honor,
Councilor Demas,
I make a motion to approve this recommendation.
is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Zadi. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Motion carries unanimously. Our next item of new business is a request from the fire department for permission to apply for a Firehouse Subs Public Safety Foundation grant. Do we have a motion?
Your Honor,
Councilor Hickerson?
does this mean Chief Walmsley's going to bring us some subs when he gets back?
I mean, I think it very clearly means, yeah.
Okay, yeah, so then, so moved.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Petrie. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Motion carries unanimously. Our next item of business is a request from the fire department for permission to apply for a marathon pipeline grant. Is there a motion?
Your Honor,
Councilor Demas?
I make a motion to approve this request.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Botello. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Motion carries unanimously. Our final item of new business is a request from the Rock Springs Housing Authority for permission to fill a vacant housing specialist 1 or 2 position. Is there a motion?
Your Honor,
Councilor Demas?
I make a motion to approve this request.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Robinson. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstaining?
Abstaining.
Abstain.
Okay, the motion carries with Councilors Petrie and Thompson abstaining. That brings us to our resolutions for the evening, the first being resolution number 2023-133.
A resolution accepting and approving an updated job description for the positions of Housing Specialist 1 at pay grade 31 and Housing Specialist 2 at pay grade 40 for the city of Rock Springs, Wyoming.
Council, do we have a motion?
Your Honor, I'll move to approve resolution 2023-133.
Thank you, Councilor Zadi. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Demas. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Matt, if you will, please.
Councilor Pedri,
Abstaining.
Zadi,
Yes.
Hickerson,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Vitolo,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Thompson,
Abstaining.
Demas,
Yes.
Mayor Mickelson.
Yes. Okay, so the motion carries with Councilors Pedri and Thompson abstaining. Bringing us to resolution 2023-134.
A resolution authorizing Max Mickelson, acting in his capacity as chairman of the board for the Rock Springs Housing Authority, to execute a proposal for the renewal of commercial liability and commercial property insurance coverage provided by the HAI Group for the Rock Springs Housing and Community Development Agency.
Council, do we have a motion?
Your Honor,
Councilor Hickerson.
move to approve resolution 2023-134.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Hanson. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Matt, if you will.
Councilor Zadi,
Yes.
Hickerson,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Vitolo,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Thompson,
Abstaining.
Demas,
Yes.
Pedri,
Abstaining.
Mayor Mickelson.
Yes. Motion carries with Councilors Pedri and Thompson abstaining. Which takes us to 2023-135.
A resolution approving a public parking space lease agreement with the City of Rock Springs and Square State Brewing PC to provide for the placement of an outdoor dining deck in the parking space located adjacent to its establishment.
Council, do we have a motion?
Your Honor,
Councilor Bertolo, excuse me.
move to approve 2023-135.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Pedri. Do we have any discussion? Hearing none. Matt, if you'll walk us through.
Councilor Hickerson,
Abstain.
Hanson,
Yes.
Vitolo,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Demus,
Yes.
Pedri,
Yes.
Zadi,
Abstain.
Mayor Mickelson.
Yes, motion carries with Councilors Hickerson and Zadi abstaining. And that takes us to Resolution 2023-136.
A resolution accepting and approving a prepaid service level agreement with FH Black and Company, Inc. to provide software maintenance to the City of Rock Springs and authorizing Max Mickelson as mayor of the City of Rock Springs, Wyoming, to execute said agreement on behalf of said city.
Council, do we have a motion?
Your Honor,
Councilor Demus?
I make a motion to approve Resolution 2023-136.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Thompson. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Matt?
Councilor Hanson,
Yes.
Vitolo,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Demus,
Yes.
Pedri,
Yes.
Zadi,
Yes.
Hickerson,
Yes.
Mayor Mickelson.
Yes. Motion passes unanimously. And that brings us to 2023-137.
A resolution accepting the preservation covenant agreement between the State of Wyoming Department of State Parks and Cultural Resources, State Historic Preservation Office, and the City of Rock Springs, and authorizing Max Mickelson as mayor of the City of Rock Springs, Wyoming, to execute said preservation covenant on behalf of the city.
Thank you. Council, do we have a motion?
Your Honor,
Councilor Bertola?
move to approve Resolution 2023-137.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Demus. Is there any discussion? Hearing none.
Councilor Vitolo,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Demus,
Yes.
Pedri,
Yes.
Zadi,
Yes.
Hickerson,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Mayor Mickelson.
Yes. Motion carries unanimously. Next up is Resolution 2023-138.
A resolution authorizing and directing Max Mickelson as mayor of the City of Rock Springs, Wyoming, and Matthew L. McBurnett as city clerk of the City of Rock Springs, Wyoming, to accept and approve a budget revision to the budget for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2024.
Council, do we have a motion?
Your Honor,
Councilor Demus?
I make a motion to approve Resolution 2023-138.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Hickerson. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Matt, if you will, please.
Councilor Robinson,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Demus,
Yes.
Pedri,
Yes.
Zadi,
Yes.
Hickerson,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Vitolo,
Yes.
Mayor Mickelson.
Yes. Motion carries unanimously. Our next resolution is 2023-139.
A resolution accepting and approving an agreement to provide engineering and construction services from Forsgren and Associates, Inc. for the biosolids handling project in the amount of $1,296,000 and authorizing Max Mickelson as mayor and Matthew L. McBurnett as city clerk to execute said agreement on behalf of the City of Rock Springs.
Thank you. Council, do we have a motion?
Your Honor,
Councilor Hickerson?
move to approve Resolution 2023-139.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Pedri. Is there any discussion? Hearing none.
Councilor Thompson,
Yes.
Demus,
Yes.
Pedri,
Yes.
Zadi,
Yes.
Hickerson,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Vitolo,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Mayor Mickelson.
Yes. Motion carries unanimously. Taking us to Resolution 2023-140.
A resolution accepting and approving a contract between the City of Rock Springs, Wyoming, and JM Electrical Services, Inc. in the amount of $425,610.90 and authorizing Max Mickelson as mayor and Matthew L. McBurnett as city clerk to execute said contract on behalf of the City of Rock Springs.
Thank you. Council, do we have a motion?
Your Honor,
Councilor Hanson?
I move to approve Resolution 2023-140.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Botello. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Matt?
Councilor Demus,
Yes.
Pedri,
Yes.
Zadi,
Yes.
Hickerson,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Vitolo,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Mayor Mickelson.
Yes. Motion carries unanimously. Our final item this evening is Resolution 2023-141.
A resolution accepting the BGA Patrick Leahy
Bulletproof Vest Partnership Grant Award from the U.S. Bureau of Justice Assistance Program for the fiscal year 2023.
Thank you. Council, do we have a motion?
Your Honor,
Councilor Demus?
I make a motion to approve Resolution 2023-141.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Hanson. Is there any discussion?
Your Honor.
Councilor Hickerson?
Chief, how many vests will that provide?
Your Honor, Council, that dollar amount right there, maybe two. We use the grant to supplement the purchase of those. Our grants are on our vests are on a 4-year recycle program. So every 4 years, an officer gets a new one. So some years, we only need 2. This year in particular, I think we need 13. So it's a big year for us with grants or with vests this year. But they're about $2,500 to $3,000 a piece right now. They used to be much cheaper.
Weird.
Yeah, weird.
Thank you.
I need a vest for my heart, hearing we need 13. Yeah. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none. Matt, if you'll take us through, please.
Councilor Pedri,
Yes.
Zadi,
Yes.
Hickerson,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Patolo,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Demus,
Yes.
Mayor Mickelson.
Yes, and with that, our business is concluded,